Benjamin, are you there? Benjamin. What's up, Dallin? What's up, Lizzie? What's up, Ashley and Luke? Oh my goodness. We got a whole bunch of people today.
What's up, Tyler? And it was just
What? Apparently I'm not using my audio.
Look at that. Is our microphone working? Can you hear us?
Good luck, Luke.
Can you hear me?
Are you on
No. Tyler.
Tyler!
Maybe.
Sorry, I can hear you guys, but my headphones aren't working for some reason. I'll be right back.
I can hear you, but my
headphones
headphones
aren't
aren't
working.
working.
So his headphones haven't connected to his computer, but he could hear you coming up the computer probably.
It's a good solution.
Right in front of him.
Okay, there we
That was great.
go. Now you can be better.
Are you good?
Wow, Lizzie, your fan is amazing.
Both deals. So
Both deals.
I hope you're okay. I presented.
No,
I was
you're
like,
totally good.
this is all.
Lizzie, we can't hear you. So, what? Oh, well. Okay, cool.
I was muted. I didn't know.
That's okay. You are good. Look, with the background recognition thing, it like slowly chops away part of my face. Anyway, cool. Well, let's get going. All right. Okay, let's get started, guys. So, how many of you guys had a chance to look at the, how many of you did the practice assignment from last time? Did any of you do anything involving that? Good job, Ashley. Hey, well, Ashley specifically then, do you have any questions? Was there anything that was confusing on it or that you couldn't do?
I think I just have one question really quick. So we're just gonna lower that. So with boring, with circular and the other one, which one is faster? Because I noticed with circular, every time it do it and then it come back up. Like, does that time add up or?
Let me share with you. Okay, so you are noticing something in here. Oh, come on, show me. Show me your moves. Okay, so you were noticing that bores and circulars, what you're noticing is something that's going on with the linking parameters. So Ashley was talking about in a bore, yellow line travels in and then it just goes down. Whereas in a circular, you can see it better on one of these tapered guys. It goes and it retracts every single time. So that's something you can actually control when you come in here to your linking parameters. Whoa, what? Wow, you can't control that in a circular. I'm wrong. That's cool. Well, okay, I have no idea why you would want to do that. Yeah, kind of funny. Actually, no, I have an idea. I have a thought.
I would love to learn
Okay, does anyone else have thoughts on why you would want a toolpath that retracts and leads in and leads out and does all sorts of funky stuff like this versus a bore which just goes down and in? Thoughts, feelings, concerns? Okay, I had one thought and now I'm realizing it's invalid. My thought was that maybe if you were just, imagine we hadn't cleared away any of the stock here, so it's still this chunk of stock, and we're just going to do this circular. We would be going in and out here, but that's wrong because those are rapid moves, so that would still crash the machine. So that's a bad thing. Honestly, I have no idea when you'd ever want to use a circular. In answer to your question, Ashley, the bore is probably always going to be faster. You'll probably, yeah.
Does it help with chip evacuation at all, or does boring take care of that?
Oh, wow, Ashley, good job. That is probably a situation where it would matter. Let's say you're doing something specifically like going down into this hole. That would give the coolant time to evacuate chips out of there, and it would give you time to like kind of come back in and get things done. That's a really good point, Ashley. In metal, it probably wouldn't matter a ton, but in wood, chip evacuation does become a huge deal, and it'll cause you lots of problems, especially on routers. Cool. Thanks, Ashley. Anyone else have any thoughts about those two toolpaths or any questions about the exercises in there? Okay, sweet. Okay, I'm going to point out to you again, one of the big things that you would have done in this 2D adaptive review, finding out what's going on with this picture here and why that toolpath looks so funky. I'm just going to simulate this, and I want you guys to tell me where everything goes to pot, where we're violating an assumption. Or actually, I'll just zoom through and find it, because asking you guys to tell me things through Zoom is terrible and it doesn't work. Okay, so I think on this next pass it'll do it. So you see how it's taking off its constant step over? But once it reaches one of the holes that was left as like kind of void from one of our, are you guys seeing this run like fairly smoothly? Is it super jerky?
It's jerky.
It's jerky, okay. Well, I will stop it and slow it down when it gets to the interesting part. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna watch this in excruciating detail. No, don't go, okay, good. So, we're gonna watch from above. All right, so you're gonna see it come in and it's taking off its traditional chunk. But you see as soon as it gets into there, look how deep it's burying itself in the stock. It thinks it's moving through air, but in actuality right here, it's slotting. It's at full, that's probably even, yeah, that's full 50% engagement right there, which is totally going to wreck our tool. Because our selection told it that had no stock relative to it. Once again, if we come into here, we can see our selection, and I just selected this face. You'll notice the blue that it shows you doesn't actually tell you that you're gonna shoot yourself in the face on that. You probably wouldn't even notice until you got on the machine and broke a tool. So that is something to be very careful of with Fusion's selection system. Okay, Ashley, any other questions about boards, helixes, and stuff? Okay, cool. Well, guys, I am happy to blabber at you guys, but to be honest, I don't know how much people are going to get out of this class from just my blabbering. Yeah. I really want to encourage you guys to go and actually do these practice assignments, which once again, you can stay clocked in for I mean, there's not a ton going on in the lab right now, and those of you who are at home, this is something definitely good that you can do. Let me see if I can do something real quick. No, looks like I can't. Okay. So what do you guys want to do about that? Let's just have a little chat real quick, because I am not getting much feedback here, and I don't really know how well this class is going. But you guys do. So let's get some feedback. What are you guys thinking about how this class is going? Are things useful? Is me blabbering enough for you guys to learn? Do we need to take a break for a week and give you guys time to actually do practice assignments? Like, what's going on? What do you guys think?
Personally, I've been slacking off like pretty bad with
Okay.
practice assignments and stuff.
Mhm.
And like there's time. I should set aside time to do it, and I just very responsible with it. So that's totally on me.
Okay, no, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
just
Darren.
to be honest and accountable here.
Thanks. Any other thoughts? Are we moving too fast, too slow? Should I be giving you smaller assignments in little chunks, smaller practices, so they're not so big and daunting?
I have
what do you-
something.
Yeah, go for it.
So I think it'd be really cool to have you like have a cool model, and then just have you go take a full class or like have a class or whatever, and just do all the camming for just one like thing.
That's
Just
a
to
good
see you
question.
go all the way through. For me, that'd be really cool.
Okay, that's really cool. If that's useful, like, so today we were planning on covering 3D adaptive clearing. I could just work that into a model that I already have whipped up, and we could run through something like that today, if that would be helpful for you guys. Cool. Thanks, Cam, not Cal. I'm reading, if any of you have read any Brandon Sanderson books, I'm rereading the Stormlight Archive, and one of the main characters' names is Cal, so sorry, Cam.
I've read it
For
too.
me,
Yeah, Lizzie, go
for
ahead.
me, I mean, I don't have a lot of computer access because Brad and I are sharing computer, so I'm kind of slow. Also, just like for me, learning Fusion, I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around because it's just different than SolidWorks. So I'm like, I don't even feel like I have a good Fusion background, let alone I don't feel like I have a good camming background, if that makes sense. So I feel just behind.
Okay. So addressing that one, Lizzie, would it be helpful then to we could take kind of a hiccup week where anyone who feels like they're behind could come and we could start over like with basic stuff or run through. Is there anything like that you think that would be helpful?
Maybe. I was thinking maybe if I like just connected with someone and just like got guided through just doing like one simple thing, like just kind of, I think I just need like some guidance, some more like holding my hand, guiding me along a little bit till I feel ready.
So opening general question, would it be helpful for me to come into the shop one day and have an office hours type thing where I could be physically there for a number of hours? You guys could be running through things, firing off questions. Would something like that be helpful for you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I'll look at schedule and see what I can get. Would you guys like me to send out like a when is good to try to figure out what's best, or just kind of pick a chunk of time and let people come? Any preferences on that?
As far as we're concerned, we're in here all day, every day, so we can do whenever. So maybe all y'all that are at home have like stronger preferences than we do, but whenever.
Ashley's saying Friday for her because she'll be coming in the lab on Friday.
Okay. Ashley, you come in on Fridays then? Yeah. Okay. Maybe it would be good. I'll just send out a when is good just so that we can like cover our bases and make sure that things work, if that works for you guys.
Are a
Lizzie,
lot of
any
people
thoughts?
taking classes? Because I'm not. I would just say like pick a time and we can all make that time work.
Okay.
Is my opinion. But
okay, that sounds good to me.
And then if someone has like something that doesn't work, then we can go from there. But
Okay,
anytime
that sounds
works
good.
for me. But I'm just at home, so I won't be coming to the shop.
Okay, that's all right. And Lizzie, if you wanna if you would like to like Zoom just you and me sometime, and I can help walk you through stuff, I'm totally fine to do that too.
Okay.
And I like Zoom is easy. I can do that pretty much any time of any day, so we can chat about that. Okay,
Okay,
I'll schedule something like that. Probably. I will look at calendar stuff and figure out when I'll get something like that on calendar. Okay, great guys. Any other feedback on the class in general? Is there something I could be doing during class time that's a little bit more useful than reviewing practice assignment? What would you learn? And then kind of introducing the next topic and letting you guys figure it out on your own. Is there more videos you guys like to see? Is there like, what suggestions and feedback do you guys have on that point?
My feedback would be I'm more of a group learner, but I don't know how everyone else is. I mean, everyone else thinks differently. So like, I would be okay if we had like one meeting, like a lesson a week, but then another time during the week, we kind of just like us students just kind of got together and we like we worked through something. I don't know. Or like worked on the assignments you gave us together or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Any other thoughts on that? You prototyping lab people or Benjamin? Would that be useful to you guys? What do you think? Because you guys are already all in the shop right now. Cam, I can't quite hear you. Let me unmute you. Can I?
I was repeating the question to somebody, and then
throw me under the bus, why don't you?
I didn't say your name. I think that'd be cool. What Elizabeth's saying, to like do like a kid time.
Kid time.
Kid time. It's our playtime.
I can roll with that.
Maybe you could go. Here's a crazy idea, but maybe you could show like a cool video, and then we kind of all watch it together, and then you pause it, where and answer questions. There's another idea.
Great, thanks, Cam. Cool. Any other like pedagogical suggestions?
I think you're doing great, Tyler. Like, I think you're definitely putting the work into it. I would say I'm not putting the work into my side. Like, I don't think you're doing anything wrong.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for the feedback, guys, and thanks for touching base on that. On another note, let me pull up our calendar real quick. Go, kids. Go away. I don't know how to make this thing leave. Hide. Dang it, I can't get my tabs. Okay, well, we'll just go mute it, and I'll just slam it back. Okay, so currently, the last 3 that we've got, today we're going to talk about 3D adaptives and rest machining. I also realized I never put drilling in here. So, drilling. We only kind of have this week and 2 more weeks on schedule. So we have other potential topics in here. I'm going to open up a poll to you guys, and I guess you prototyping lab people, I'll weight your responses a little bit more. But here are kind of the potential topics that we had. If you guys could just pick your 3 top choices from that list, and then we can kind of talk about from there once we have polling results. We can kind of talk about what, how long we want to go and how the class kind of goes from here. Because we're kind of reaching the end of my knowledge. Even things once we start getting to 3D adaptives and surfacing, I'm not a pro. So we can kind of have a little chat about how we want stuff to continue. Okay, and Benjamin seems like he's MIA, so I'll just take your 2. So far in here I've got more feeds and speed stuff, parametric modeling, toolpath patterns, 3D printing in Fusion, and tapping is what I've got from you guys so far. Okay, let me pop those in here. Can you guys see the poll results?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
I'm on my
Is
phone,
normal-
so I can't.
Oh, okay. Normally Zoom.
No.
Oh no.
We lied. We can't see the results. We can
Okay.
see the poll though. We're working on it.
Great. That is a-okay. All right. Let me just pop these down real quick. Oh, Benjamin voted. Wow. Wow.
Go, Benjamin.
Okay. He added in fixturing. I'll take that. Sorry, guys. Okay. You see on this list too, I think Austin threw in there turning on the Romy as an entire topic, which is definitely not far from the truth. Okay.
Machine maintenance.
Machine maintenance. I just got a suggestion from. But no, seriously, yeah. That one's a little hard to do over a Zoom meeting, but I might be able to stop into the prototyping lab and chat with you guys sometime. Okay.
It's just the day-to-day things like oiling the rods and cleaning and CNC routers.
Oh, totally. Good point, Jennifer. Thanks. That's okay. All right. So thanks, guys. We'll end that. Okay. Sorry, one last chat thing before we go on, and I think I'm gonna model something start to finish today and show you how that 3D adaptive works in the context of something that Random we've got going. So guys, then I guess after we could probably break that down into like 2-ish, and that would have us ending sometime around, I don't know, that would be 18th of June, one more week beyond that. So that'd have us be ending towards the end of June. Are you guys okay with calling the class after that point? Do you want me to still kind of have some sort of help session in here? Do you guys want me to, like, I don't know, post a project a week for camming? Is there anything you guys see that would be useful going on after that 25th of June?
I mean, I could probably go on forever, but that's as if Tyler never graduates. So. Just kidding.
All right, we can probably go on forever. Any thoughts from prototyping lab people or Benjamin? MIA Benjamin?
I think it would be cool to have like a project a week and to be able to continue working on that, and maybe periodically doing just like another meeting with questions to work through the project if there were things that we got stuck on or something like that. But
okay. For those of you guys who are in the prototyping lab, since kind of the lab is a little bit more open now and like the world is less scary, do you guys have anyone who comes in consistently that could help you with feeds and speeds and like actually running machines? Or is that something I'd need to stop in sometime and help you guys with?
say Austin's in here quite a bit working on research, and so he's been willing to answer questions and do a lot of things there.
Okay.
And Luke's been coming in more often, and so
now that he gave up on his baritone.
Yep, he's working on a radial engine now. So, but
that's just how Luke works.
A lot of times so for the most part, there's somebody in that can help us with that kind of stuff. Whenever Logan's out of quarantine again, he'll be in here. But
okay. Well, okay. Maybe I'll show you guys how to post today. So that way, if someone does come into the shop who knows the machines well enough that they could look at your parameters and go, oh, shoot, you're going to break the Haas. Maybe you guys can actually cam something and run it on machines. Because I know camming for camming's sake is pretty sterile and really boring. Okay, great. Any other thoughts on that front?
I guess my last thought. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
I guess you could like, as far as the class goes. Are we still on that, or did we change topics?
Yep.
Okay.
Class.
Like you could finish up the class like June, but then we kind of just still always have something we're learning or discussing just as like a lab, just so we have like, I don't know, it just seems like a nice communication place. Like, hey, like what questions do we have? Where are we at? I don't know.
Okay. So kind of maybe turn it into like an office hours / cheek talk kind of time, you know?
Yeah, or just
Along
like
those lines.
where do we feel like our holes are in our learning?
Okay.
Just like kind of refreshers, or just so we feel like there's nothing, how do I put it? So it's okay to have holes of like things that you don't know. So we feel like there's a safe space to, because I'm a millennial, to express that.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, guys, well then, without further ado, let's get on with this. Let's cam something. Okay, so I am opening up, this is my CNC router. This is actually, oh wait, this dang top bar will not go away, and it bugs me. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a minute, and I'm gonna try resharing and see if it goes away. Okay. Dang it. Oh, yay, now it went away. Okay. Right now I'm opening up, oh geez, my computer's totally gonna crash, isn't it? So this is actually where I modeled my entire CNC router. And I'm gonna kill these other ones. Yep, there's my entire CNC router, a translucent block. All right. So I'm gonna come in here. We're gonna cam something on this. Start to finish. Let's see, what do we want to cam? So one problem with this is it doesn't really show off 3D stuff because I designed everything to not be 3D because 3D is atrocious whenever you're trying to make anything. All right, let's cam this thing. I can't remember what it's called. We're gonna find it. Okay, this is gonna have multiple operations in it. So this is spindle mount. Okay, so in a multi-part assembly in Fusion, one of the things that's kind of nice is you can just isolate that part and cam it in context. You'll notice when I go into my manufacturing workspace, there will be cam files for most everything in here. The way you do that is you right-click and you hit isolate. So that shows just this component. If I want to get out of it, I can either recheck everything or I can right-click and hit unisolate and everything pops back into existence. I'm going to isolate it and then I'm going to head over to my manufacturer workspace. You'll see in here, this is where everything and its dog lives. So many living dogs. But this is where I've cammed so many different parts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new setup. So I come in, make a new setup, and this is where stock considerations have to come in. I have to figure out how I'm gonna clamp the dang thing and where I'm gonna machine it from. So I'm going to imagine I've got a piece of bar stock that looks like this, and I'm clamping it over here. That's how I'm going to imagine that I'm machining this thing with it hanging over the edge. That's a bad idea. There's probably a better way to machine this thing, but we're going to do that for now. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to hide you guys so I can't see your faces. Haha. Okay, so my general thought is then, okay, I need to adjust my stock, and I need to, so I've got a little bit of a conundrum. I want to add some stock on the left so I know where I'm grabbing and I can simulate that. But if I change my stock side offset, everything gets bigger, which is frustrating. Oh, what I should have done. All right, here we go. I'm going to select my Z-axis and then my X-axis. And now I've got my stock oriented in the right way. That's always important to do before you adjust your stock size. So that frustrating thing happened, but I can add stock to all sides, and then in my negative X, add in like 3 inches of stock. Then I've got the size of the bar that I'd probably actually end up working with. I can see my depth is 4 inches, which is probably the size, 4 inch by 1 inch plate stock that I ended up finding. So that looks good to me. We're gonna click on that and we gonna move on. Okay, what I do from here is I would probably use entirely 2D adaptive clearing toolpaths. So I'd come in, since there's a lot of room of stick out I'd probably end up doing this on the VF4. So I'm gonna come into my VF4 standard library, and I'm gonna show you guys roughing this out with, let's do the 1/2 inch bullnose. There we go. So you'll notice in the tool library that you guys have in Fusion, it lists aluminum and steel next to things. That basically just means 3 flute versus 4 flute. So we're doing this out of aluminum. I'm gonna come in with my bullnose. Then I'm gonna look over my feeds and speeds, knowing what I want to do. So I'll show you guys, normally I would punch in my feeds and speeds and then select everything. But in this case, I'm just gonna select everything and then punch in feeds and speeds so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So pocket selections, I want to rough out this outside as well as this inside, which I can do in the same operation. I probably want to do the outside first, so that way the bulk of this remains strong. Imagine if I were to cut out the middle first and then start milling the outsides, it can jiggle a lot more than if I mill the outside first and then the inside, if that makes sense. Okay, my stock contours on here are not the ones I want, so that's the total stock, just so I could simulate it. I'm gonna come in and I'm actually gonna change my stock contours. Oh no. Okay, what I would want to do is I'd want to select some stock contours that just is a rectangle around this, but I can't do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into my design workspace. I'm gonna make a new sketch, and I'm gonna model in, just in a sketch, what I want my stock contours to be. So I'm gonna constrain that point and that point to be coincident. I constrain that line and what? Get at me. Hey. Oh, okay. I'm gonna constrain 2 lines to be collinear. So this line and this line are now collinear. You see my sketch is all black. That means everything's fully constrained. And then I pop back into my manufacturer workspace. I still have this random setup 21 activated. So I can come into my 2D adaptive clearing and I can select my stock contours as this. Now that 2D projection tells, this is the stock I want you to care about as I'm simulating, as I'm calculating stuff. So then my geometry, I want to select this bottom edge, but not all the way around. So I'm gonna select there. I don't want it all the way around, so I'm gonna click it again and say open contour. Then I can come in and select this edge. That's not where I want it to be though, so I'm gonna come in and select, oh, poopeth. I didn't think about that. So because I have this little gap in here, this entire bottom edge is gonna get selected when I do my open contour. Let's look and see what happens as that goes on. It may or may not end up working out. Okay, so I'm gonna select my heights. I'm gonna trust my clearance and stuff planes because I've already got them set up where I want them to be. I know I'm not gonna have any like bolt down sets or anything, so I'm comfortable with a clearance height that's 0.6 inches above my part. My bottom height, selected contours would make the bullnose touch right there, but I don't wanna do that. I want my bullnose to go all the way down, so I'm gonna make sure my offset is more than the radius on that bullnose cutter. And when we simulate, you'll see what happens. Okay, sweet. That's not exactly what I wanted to do. So often I come in and right click and hit edit. That's not the only way you can edit. You can actually, if I try double clicking on this, it lets me edit the name, which is dumb. But if you double click the icon, it brings up the edit window. So quick tip for those. And it's using a 1/4 inch flat, which is dumb. That's why it was doing weird things. VF4, 1/2 inch pull notes. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so now you see what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna try to mill all the way around there, and I'm gonna go full depth on that. So I want to adjust my step over and stuff accordingly. It's been a while since I've done this, so my feeds and speeds might be a little bit off. Since I'm on the VF4, my maximum spindle speed is 8 grand. So I'll leave that on there. Okay, feed per tooth, I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle with. Oh, that's good. I'll leave 2.5 thou per tooth. Okay, those are probably good. Now what I wanna do is, since I've edited my heights, I come into this guy and I edit my optimal load. I'm actually gonna change this down to 10%. Step over. It's in climb direction, which is great. My minimum cutting radius is 10%, which will probably be fine. Yeah, so just so you guys know, this piece that I picked right here is actually really atrocious and is not well designed for machining. Does anyone watching?
Tyler.
No, well, does anyone watching have ideas of why this is going to be terrible to machine? Let me simulate it and give you a little hint. What?
You're gonna have a radius.
Oh yeah, I will. Look at that. That's gross. And that's gross. I wanted it different. No. I wanted that to be square, but it's not square. This part is poorly designed and would need a lot of different setups to make it work. I'll show you how I would do it. But it's.
Or how you did do it?
No, I haven't machined this one yet. This one I ended up just 3D printing because I just wanted to be done with my dang router. So it's probably the least rigid part on my whole router, but that's okay. I can put up with it. Yeah, so that's a problem. And no amount of tiny tool is going to make a difference on that because it's so deep down. What I would have to do is I'd have to flip it up into this operation and come in with some atrociously long tool to get that square edge, then hit that square edge, do it in a different operation to get that atrocious angle and put those holes in. And then afterwards, I'd probably come in on the bandsaw and just chop that with a bandsaw because I don't want to deal with it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep, I need a 5-axis mill. So, remember how we had a little drama with my stock selection setup? You see what it's doing first is it's cutting out that middle portion, which we talked about we didn't want to do because of rigidity concerns. What I have to do now is if I want to force it to do the outside first and then the inside, I have to come back into my design workspace, make another sketch, come onto this bottom, project all this geometry, and then I'm just going to bridge this gap with a line. What that does is it gives me one continuous curve. Oh, what? It was on the top. Well, that's silly. Sorry, guys. Well, in a future day, I would go and change that sketch plane to be on the bottom. But instead, I'm just going to show you how I do this. Okay, so now, hide. Instead of selecting that bottom chain, I'm going to come in, I'm going to select this guy. So this is a common technique used. Oh, no, don't select the face. Oh, where is it? There. So I've selected that edge, but you see the little arrow is showing the inside. I click the arrow and then it goes to the outside. But because I bridged that little gap, now it's just doing this line. What this also means is, though, since my bottom height was based on my selected contours, I'm not going to actually mill much. I'm just going to dip my toes in the stock and then move on with my life. I need to change that. So I come in, and my heights, instead of a selected contour, I'm going to go for a selection. That selection, I just select anything that's on that bottom plane. You see my bottom updates. I still have my breakthrough, and my toolpath will generate just dandy. Great. Okay, so I'm going to come in and edit that. You notice I've got stock to leave in here. I've got radial stock left on the edges. So I'm going to want to come in and clean that up with my good friend 2D contour. So I'm going to come in with the 2D contour, and fortunately we made that geometry, which is good. So I can still come in and select that geometry. And I'm going to go on open contour, and then this allows me to come in. I'm going to select to that point. Then I'm going to select this guy. So because I selected my, oh, you sneaker. It selected that entire outer thing. Okay, well then I'm going to cancel that. And I'm going to come into my model. So in this models folder is where everything you've modeled exists. In my sketches tab, oh my gosh, that's an atrocious amount of sketches. I'm going to hide that big box so it doesn't mess me up again. Little stinker. Collapse that. And now I'm going to select this. Because I've hidden that, it'll let me select what I want to do. I don't want tabs. Sure, I'll still use that same toolpath, but I'm going to feed a lot faster. Because I'm not going to be cutting as much. I'm only taking off 20 thou. I come into this. Once again, my selection is on that top face. So I need to adjust my bottom height. And my selected contour, sorry, is that top face. I need to adjust to a selection, make it that bottom one, and adjust my bottom. You notice on these planes, it lists relative to your work coordinate system. So top dead center of this thing. Where this plane resides in space, which is really nice. Okay, I'm doing climb milling. I don't have to care about any of that, except smoothing is always useful. My linking parameters I've already got established at a point that I want. Oh, and I made a boo-boo. You're gonna see as soon as my computer stops wonking. My 2D contour is on the inside of that, and it definitely is going along that back edge. So I did a dumb. Okay, this will be the last thing, and then I'll show you how to post. So because I did the wrong thing on that, I have to click that arrow to make it be on the outside. And I have to reselect this and hit open contour, and then come in and select, oh, that's the first one. So I'm gonna come into here, and if you remember, Fusion just keeps kind of guessing what you want as you select things. Oh man. Excuse me. Well, okay. Fusion sometimes hates everyone, and that's okay. I'm gonna select this line, click on it again, hit open contour, and then I can come in and select that one, and then I'll come in and select this guy, and then I'll hit that one too. Oh, dang it. And I selected that one, but pretend I didn't. No, I'll select that one too. So what I did there is Fusion sometimes wants you to put in a start point and end point. So I picked far away the exact end I wanted and specified middle points, as opposed to trying to specify a bunch of middle points. You should always specify end points first if you can. Okay, changing my heights, got that. Everything should be good. All right. No, you sneaky weasel. Well, let's pretend Tyler actually selected his, he actually clicked the right button because I didn't click the right button. I need to click this plus for it to accept the current contour. Okay, there you go. Now Tyler actually did a thing and it actually worked. So when I come in and simulate this, it's only going to do the outside of this, this guy, which is okay. I'll just speed it up and it'll just magically appear. But that guy goes through, handles it all, and there we go. We're not going to worry about the inside because we're running out of time. So let's say I've looked this over. I'm confident everything's going to work. Now I come into post-process, and that's this little G-code box over here. In here is where you get your posts. So for most of the things you guys are going to be doing, you're going to be posting to the VF4 or DM1. The way you do that is you have to access your cloud posts. So you come into here and you hit use cloud posts. Then it'll show you what you're doing here. So I just have one post, and this will be a post shared with you guys. It's called Haas Post Alex. So this is one that Alex Laraway has edited to be a little more friendly to our machine specifically. In here, you can see values that you can change on the fly. So things like tool change at safe position. If you're working with a really tall piece, sometimes the VF4 will do tool changes and smash your tool into your part and break things. I've actually had that happen to me. You can do this, enable tool change at safe position, and it will move your part, it'll move your tool away from your part and then change tools and then bring your tool back to your part. These are all little things that you can edit in case you need to. Normally you won't touch them though, and that's okay. So you hit post. This will let you save a file somewhere, anywhere. And in this box is where you want to name it whenever you're saving it to a file. You'll notice in here, when I come to post process, it'll ask you for a program name or number. Never change that. Haas machines expect a 4-digit number in that box, but they don't really care what that number is. It has something to do with where it stores it on the machine, but we don't really care. If every single program you ever write has the number 1001, you won't notice a difference. Once again, you save the name in here. If you try to change that 1001 in that other box, the Haas machines will not cooperate. Okay, that is how I'd go start to finish on a single part. This wasn't quite the best part for showing that, and I didn't get to show you my 3D adaptives, but we are out of time.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Cam, that was useful.
That was so helpful.
Okay, cool.
I learned so much.
Okay. Maybe I'll try to do that from now on when I'm teaching you guys a new toolpath. Maybe I'll just run start to finish with that toolpath through with you and just try to make sure that part forces me into showing you all the things I'd want to show you about that toolpath anyway. Okay, in light of this, guys, maybe we will not have a formal class next week through Zoom. I won't be teaching new concepts at least. I can still be here if you guys want to ask questions, or Lizzie, that could be a good time that we could go over. I won't be teaching anything new, but it'd be a good time to review. I will find a time next Friday that I can come into the lab and hopefully have you guys actually run some machines. So if anyone who shows up in the lab wants to run the VF4, DM1, or ShopBot, and you have some trinkety thing that you want to make, great. Let me know beforehand. And then I can kind of plan out with you what stock shape you'd need, what you'd need to do for toolpathing. and we can see if we can get you started on that project at least while I'm there. Okay, any questions before we end, guys?
Thanks, Tyler. That sounds great.
Okay, y'all are awesome. I will get this. Benjamin
awesome.
should have taken his own recording, and I have a recording too for backup. So hopefully this week's chat will get uploaded a little bit quicker than last week's did.
Are you home, Tyler?
I am not at home. I am.
Where are you? He was in the peanut gallery.
Peanut gallery. Well, my background is Balboa Park. Did you recognize that?
Yeah, maybe it's that little person back there that's talking.
Oh, this is where I am.
Oh.
This is Tectum Tech.
I know where that is. Yeah.
Yep. Lizzie, you've been here.
Yeah, that's cool.
I knew it.
Tell us, Heather, that she's amazing.
I knew it too.
And
thanks, Lizzie.
And I hope little Logan is doing well.
Thanks. He's doing his best to keep us from sleeping, but that's okay.
Kind of his job right now.
Yep.
Unfortunately. How's Scott?
Scott's doing good. He is getting to the stage where he's starting to get scared of the dark. So we've got him fixed up with a nightlight, and then he has this little like silicone whale that he can smack to make it light up. But it only has like 4 or 5 hours of battery life on it. And we thought that'll be enough because he'll probably like turn it off and go to sleep. But he wants it on all night basically. So it dies in the morning, and then he like wakes up screaming because his whale isn't lighting. So
when's his birthday?
It is in 3 days.
Oh my goodness, he's turning 2.
Oh my gosh.
2 years old.
Wait, what day is
31st. It's Sunday.
Okay. Well, happy birthday, Scott. Okay.
No.
Well, this is being recorded, so you probably don't want
No, I actually stopped recording it. Maybe Benjamin didn't stop recording it, but I did.
Okay. Well, tell Heather she's awesome. I hope she's doing okay.
You too. Tell Brad that we say hi too. All right. Bye, guys. And I will see those of you in the prototyping lab at a time next Friday. And I'll plan on keeping Thursday at noon open for anyone who has questions and stuff. Just text me or email me.